NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are here on a Monday, Sunday night, recording for the Monday 11-game main slate over on DraftKings, 14 games over on FanDuel. This is a huge slate because no teams play on Tuesday. And then we have the Christmas Day slate on Wednesday, so limited teams there as well, 5 games. So they're just jamming everybody in the way the NBA schedule does, but we're thankful. Once we get through this week, we'll have a little bit of normalcy back to our NBA schedule here, but we still got to get through this beast of a slate. We had the big slate last week as well. That thing was insane with the number of players being ruled out late as we get closer to roster lock on that day. We're going to go position by position. We're going to break it all down for you guys as efficiently as we can, knowing that there are quite a few questionable players. And with the off day tomorrow, probably quite a few players will end up being ruled out and taking that long Christmas vacation. So, Grande, how are we doing, man?
We're doing interesting slate. Obviously, you alluded to all but 2 teams playing. Obviously, only 11 on DraftKings, but there are 14 games across the NBA. Some obviously just massive implications if someone like Luka or Giannis were to sit, if Trae Young's going to sit again. Does Dame play? He's unlikely to. So there's a lot, John. And again, we'll be as efficient as possible. For those that don't know, we will be back with a Christmas pod.
Yep.
No live, obviously, on Christmas, but we will have the Christmas pod up and the playbook out a day early as well. Is my shirt? My shirt might be on backwards. I don't know. No, it's on forwards. Just a little, you ever when you feel like a tag right here, like, oh, is my shirt on backwards? No, it's not. But yeah, definitely an interesting 11 gamer. A lot of could we just say a lot of bad game? Like a lot of
we got a 238 total Milwaukee Chicago, which could be super cool if Giannis plays in, because you get Giannis in this massive pace up spot against Chicago, and then likewise Chicago against this a really bad defensive team in Milwaukee. So that game could be fun from an offensive standpoint here. But yeah, not a lot of great matchups, really. San Antonio, Philadelphia, I guess, could be kind of fun. But everything else is kind of, nothing great in terms of spreads. Again, Milwaukee, Chicago's 1.5, 238.5. Washington, OKC is an 18 game total. The Wizards are massive road underdogs there. Memphis, LA, 232.5. Memphis given 4.5 at home. Not a bad spot there. Minnesota, Atlanta. Atlanta's been good. They're getting 4 at home, though. We got to figure out Trae Young, who sat out the other day. I imagine Trae would be back.
He's questionable. He's already questionable.
Yeah, so we'll see. But 222 total there. Minnesota good defensively. Knicks, Raptors. The Knicks are 14-point home favorites. Miami's 8.5-point home favorite over Brooklyn. Boston, 9-point road favorite over Orlando. I mentioned Philadelphia, San Antonio. 220 total there. Philadelphia's a 5-point favorite.
Why is Miami favorites against anyone? Did you see what happened to them the other night?
Yeah.
37-8 fourth quarter.
Yeah, less than ideal. Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn,
no, I know.
Brooklyn's not very good.
Well, is this Brooklyn team better or was that Orlando team better?
Yeah, I don't know. Houston, Charlotte. Again, Houston's on a back-to-back here, but Charlotte's getting 6.5, 217. Cleveland's home against Utah. 14.5 spread there, 230.5. So only a couple games expected to be competitive, a couple of games over 230. So, the injury news certainly could sway some things one way or the other. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. You want to hit that like, that subscribe, that share button. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time to break the rest of the slate down for you guys and all the latest news and updates heading into roster lock. Let's just get into a point guard position. Luka, SGA, your 2 guys up over 10K. You got LaMelo at 98, Trae at 94, Harden at 92, Barnes at 91, and Lillard at 9K.
Yeah, I mean, if Luka plays, sign me up. but it's just obviously the heel has been a concern. They've ruled him out pretty quick in the day, so we should know whether Luke is going to play or not pretty early, and how serious it is. But if he's in, definitely have interest. Hard to imagine Washington keeps it competitive. I guess we've seen crazy things happen, but OKC just doesn't let you breathe. Like if they're beating you, they're going to beat you into the ground. So, Shea is fine if that game stays competitive. LaMelo is interesting from this perspective. Brandon Miller's already out, and they do get Houston on the second leg of a back-to-back. That would be, and that game ended up being really competitive.
Yeah.
For no reason at all, with no RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickly, and Toronto was just like, all right, we have Jamal Shed and Chris Boucher, and that's all we need here. But LaMelo without Brandon Miller, no matter the matchup, is going to take 30 shots. So, like LaMelo, if Trey plays, I'm a little indifferent. Minnesota's defense has been good. Harden's very good at basketball outside of the last game against Dallas. So, huge pace up spot for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Play some Harden.
Memphis has been blowing out a lot of teams, and I kind of talked about that. Do you think they can blow out the Clippers? Are they capable of that?
They seemingly can blow anyone out, I guess. Like their offense is quite good. Yeah, I mean they beat Boston in Boston. They beat Golden State by 50. They've had some like really good wins. They beat Milwaukee by 30. Like they've had some great wins. So yes, if the Clippers don't defend like they normally do, because they also need the offensive firepower from Harden, from Norm, from Zubats. So I like Harden in tournaments. Obviously, Scotty Barnes has not looked good since coming back. It was really bad again on Sunday. I'd be interested in going back to the well with Scotty, knowing the Knicks defensively haven't been great. And if there's no RJ, like RJ was not even listed on the injury report and then got ruled out with that same illness he was dealing with. So obviously that remains to be seen if he's going to go into the Monday slate with the same illness. But if there's no RJ Barrett, I'd be okay playing Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, they did talk about how quickly Scotty Barnes returned from that ankle injury, and you just have to wonder if maybe he's just not at 100%.
It's fair.
Again, you do have Dame if there's no Giannis, but Dame plays or vice versa. Obviously, it'd be a pretty great spot. It might be if they both play, still a pretty good spot for Dame Lillard here going up against Chicago. Just how poorly Chicago plays defensively and the pace at which they play at. Under 9K, you got Morant, you got Maxey, Kyrie, potentially no Luka. And I'll say this to the Luka point, by the way. They do play on Christmas Day, and you have to wonder if the league is like, hey, we kind of need Luka here on the Christmas Day, national televised matchup against Minnesota. We don't need him against Portland. So can you sit him out, give him another day? So could get Kyrie, could also bench them both ahead of that Wednesday game as well. But there's $8,500 there. Brunson's 83, kind of round out that 8K range.
I don't believe anything you just said, but I would play Kyrie if there's no Luka. I know there's a shoulder injury, or was, but he took 25 shots, so the shoulder must be feeling pretty good. But again, Clippers, hey, good, really good defensively. I know they won, and the Mavs got a lot of like other guys involved. And if there's no Luka, Kyrie's going to get Toumani Camara defense, and that's not fun. So, but I'd be good with going back to Kyrie. Rest of the 8K, like, Maxey is going to play with Embiid here. Embiid not on the injury report, plays a lot of minutes. So if you want to get there, and Brunson benefited from whatever happened with Towns, the foul troubles,
3 fouls, and then they
played him the whole. They played the whole. I saw someone post this. The 5 starters played the entire third quarter for the Knicks, and then Towns basically I benched the whole fourth.
Yep.
And then
and he still doubled. He
still doubled. I think was it Hart and OG who didn't sit, or Hart and Bridges who didn't sit the second half of the game? They just played the final 24 minutes. Either way,
Goes to show the ceiling of minutes these guys can play.
Yeah, I mean Brunson played 40 minutes. Like if that is at all up, like if that's just a possibility for anybody, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd play Jalen Brunson if he's gonna play. If there's a chance that this game is competitive and he's playing 40 minutes, those 40 minutes were against the Pelicans, dude.
Right.
They have 5 wins. They have 5 wins this year. Like maybe 6 if they can beat the Nuggets, but 5 currently.
Under 8K, we have Suggs. We'll see if he plays or not. Orlando took another big blow. Mo Wagner, torn ACL, done for the year. Orlando just cannot catch a break.
No.
Or actually, they've caught too many breaks, literally, at this point.
Yep.
Poole, 75. Hero, 74. Garland, 71. Your 6K guards also can be combined in that mid-tier. Giddey, Boston guards, Chicago guards. What are your thoughts in this group?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is for sure Tyler Hero if Jimmy sits, which he's listed questionable with the illness again. So if there's no Jimmy, even if there is Jimmy, 7,400, not really sure why that price has kind of like stopped at where it is. Probably should be a little higher, but maybe, big slate, softer pricing. Hero 74. I would love to play Garland in this spot, but you want to talk about teams that blow everybody out. I mean, dude, Cleveland blows everybody out. It has not been competitive for a week with this team. So
I was all set on Jared Allen the other day. And then,
dude, I know. I mean, we double in 25 minutes and he just checks out and never checks back in. It's like, all right, cool. 7,100 for Garland's too cheap, but like, he's just not going to play. So, Van Vliet 69, I don't hate. If Giddey plays, interesting, but we know the minutes are already like kind of sketchy. So full capacity Bulls team would be not fun if you're playing Josh Giddey. If there's no Trey, dude, Dyson Daniels had a 40 bomb in 29 minutes because he was the great bearer thief. He had 6 steals. I'd have to imagine and you didn't even get the minutes because there was a blowout. So like in a competitive game, you get 35 minutes out of Dyson Daniels. I'd be okay with going there if there's no Trey. Always good playing Derek White if you think that game can stay competitive.
Got some big games out of Simons lately.
Yes, he's been awesome. He does this too. Like he is so streaky.
He's a great offensive player.
He is such a good offensive player when he's like, and even just goes to show you, like, I think he's kind of getting like there's a little more like meat on the bone because 7 for 22, 3 for 11, only 1 free throw.
Yeah,
still gets you 40 fantasy points because 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. Right, like it hasn't necessarily been in the Anthony Simons bag. It's usually just scoring and with like
he's another guy whose name is floating about trade rumors as well. So like could just be kind of showing out a little bit here.
A lot of guards over there. They could use probably a deal or two. They just have a lot of pieces.
Traded Dame, drafted Scoot, already had Simons and Sharp. And so
I know, yeah, dude. I mean, the Brandon Miller thing probably didn't help them because Brandon Miller like went in front of when it was supposed to be Scoot, and then they were like, we're actually gonna take Brandon Miller. And then the Bulls, I would say just blanket. I don't know how to approach Io or Kobe because we don't know if Giddey's gonna play, but Kobe White's been really, really bad, and Io is what is his role now? Is Patrick Williams back in the starting lineup? If Giddey comes back, is Io back to the bench? Is Giddey on the bench? Is Pat Williams? Like, it's just, we don't know. I can't imagine they would go with their smaller lineup against Milwaukee if Giannis plays. No. So I'd assume Io is the odd man out. And then,
Ben Simmons, 29 minutes, double. The assists have been great. Rebounds have been good. Doubled figure scoring now in the 3 games since moving back into the starting lineup as well. 5,900 is a good price. You got the ceiling last time out against Utah. You get a ceiling game against Miami for him?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of things at play here. One, the minutes have been great. The scoring that we didn't think was possible is happening. He's making free throws for however long that's going to last. I mean, he's the last 3 games, he's gotten to the line a decent amount. He's fifth in the NBA or fourth in the NBA rather in potential assists per game over that span, 17. And he's a good rebounder because he's 6'10" point guard. So I don't like Miami obviously showed a lot of they are not a very good team. And that's why Jimmy Butler's on the block and they're where they are in the standings every year. I'd have a hard time believing that if we get another 30 minutes out of Ben Simmons, we're gonna not continue to get solid production. I would say obviously the scoring is a little bit
You'd like to see him be this aggressive though, get me 10 shots a game, get to the free throw line, but then actually hit your free throws, 5 of 6, 2 of 3. I would like to, if he could consistently get me 4 to 5 free throws a game, that's a huge bonus, right? So
agreed. And
he's a slasher, right? So he should be getting contact, and teams want to send him to the free throw line. So he should be getting those opportunities to just shoot free throws here.
Yeah, and you know what? We kind of ragged on him for the volume. He hadn't been playing 30 minutes a night, right? It's been,
and they had a whole bunch of other shooters on the floor, right? They don't even have that anymore. So all right. Though I did see, I don't know the exact Cam Thomas news, but I think last week they said he was close or something like that. So we'll see what happens when that eventually goes down.
He's already he's ruled out for now.
Already. Okay. Yeah. Ja's back, so Scottie Pippen at 5,600. We're not going to play that. No. Pritchard's always a dark throw. I guess if Suggs is out, where's Cole Anthony? Cole Anthony's 4,700. Do we get trapped by Cole Anthony against Boston? What do we think happens here? They started black. Cole Anthony came off the bench, nuked the slate.
Out of body experience, by the way. I mean, that is
35, 8, and 9 in 28 minutes.
It's an unrealistic expectation.
I know. The last 2 times he played over 20 minutes, though, 26 and 62 fantasy points.
Yeah, and then the last time this happened, we went right back to Cole Anthony and called him must play and against Milwaukee, and look what happened. He was 2 for 12 and then got benched. I would say the difference probably would be if there's no Suggs. That's obviously the difference.
Yeah, there's no Suggs, yeah.
They'll need his offense, and now no Mo Wagner, like you said, so they really don't have offense. So
how does this not help our guy John Isaac get more playing time?
Well,
no Wagner now. Come on,
he didn't even I
get it.
I'm definitely in. I mean, you even think is Cole Anthony in this scenario? Is he just on the floor regardless? When Boston is up 25 in the third, and
honestly, who knows? Right?
Yeah,
we would play him because selfishly we want the fantasy points. But there's other guards here. I mean, obviously, if there is no Luka, we've been playing a lot of Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's been fantastic. 2 really good matchups, tough defensive matchups against the Clippers. Comes out of it with 40 and 33 fantasy points, playing 37 and 29 minutes. Now you have Portland. I mean, if there's no Luka, you're spending $5K on Dinwiddie. No questions asked.
It's a wild glow up for Spencer Dinwiddie. This is Spencer Dinwiddie of old, huh? He's back.
The thing, though, but Dinwiddie was good. He was just kind of thrown aside there. Let's see what else we got. Rozier played a lot of minutes.
He did. If there's no Jimmy,
got Rozier there. Let's see. They started Drew Smith. He also played 26 minutes. If there's no Jimmy again, what are your thoughts on Drew Smith here?
Dude, the steals are hilarious.
What if he's a steals guy?
I'm just saying they're hilarious. That's all I'm saying. That's my only comment. They are hilarious. He's a very low, if you're asking me Drew Smith, I would just probably it's just literally a conversation we had last week. I would play Kevin Porter over him 10 out of 10 times.
Okay.
Or Cole Anthony. Because
Anthony Black started, only played 18 minutes, had 5 fouls, which probably also didn't help him.
Yeah.
In that game.
And then Cole Anthony catches fire and he's never coming back on the floor.
Never came back on the floor, right? So anything else down here?
I mean, if you're playing narrative, Ty Jerome.
Sure.
Because he is a fantasy point per minute god. When he gets on the floor.
Earl's questionable too, I think, right?
Yes, there is. And Strus, I think, or Strus is back, I believe. No,
Yeah.
Coro, Strus is back. Merrill questionable.
Yeah, Merrill played 8 minutes in that game, and he's questionable. So
I think where Jerome might not pick up any extra time would be because Strus is there. But also, if
in a
it's
blowout, they're not going to play Strus.
and this is a blowout, Strus isn't playing, and Ty Jerome's playing. I mean, if you get 24 minutes at Ty Jerome, he's gonna score you. I mean, you see the fantasy points on the screen.
Are you at all concerned that, like, in a 29-point blowout, though, he only got 16 minutes? Like, and I get it, 19 fantasy points is good, 28, 23. We in a blowout, we kind of wanted to play 25 and not play 16, right? So
Yeah. Mitchell played 30. Trying to see why that
but I guess
Garland only played 24.
I guess if there is no Merrill, though, like, I don't know, Merrill played minutes there, right? That's where
Yeah.
could come
Garland and Sam Merrill played 24 minutes each in that game, by the way.
Yeah.
Gotta mention Jamal Shed would probably be the other one I mentioned. So on Sunday, John, Jamal Shed in 33 minutes off the bench, 11 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block for Jamal freaking Shed.
We asked and wondered if he was going to start a few games ago.
He did not, and he hasn't. He came off the bench in this game too.
Right. And the minutes, though, 26, and then now he goes and plays 33 today. So, like, you know, they Mogbo was the short end there, played 16. We got a season high 25 from Kelly O, which is certainly something I think to watch here. You know, we know what kind of player he was. 8, 9, 4, 2, and 1 for Kelly O. So something to watch there, but they didn't play any other guards. Davion DNP coaches it. Was he hurt or they just DNP'd him?
He was active today.
So they just straight up DNP Davion Mitchell. So that's
what they saw Jamal Shed and they're like, oh, we don't. And Jacoby Walter went
nutty.
Scored 27 actual or whatever he did.
Yeah. Yep. All right, that's good shot. If guys are out and status quo sort of stays there with Jamal Shed, that's fine. What do we do with Milwaukee? Obviously, they had started Ryan Rollins. He played 31 minutes against the Wizards, had 22 fantasy points. Ryan Rollins starts at 3,500 against Chicago. That's got to kind of plug that in, don't you?
Yeah, probably.
We all wanted him to start 2 games ago. Instead, they played Green and Wright and not Ryan Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Green was also really good in the Washington game. Sure. 31 minutes, which is like he's very safe in terms of minutes. So I would probably play them both. I lean obviously Rollins if he's starting for the discount, but I would play both Green. If there's no Giannis, Dame is basically confirmed out. Middleton is probable, I believe.
Yeah.
Season high 24 minutes for Middleton last game. So if Ryan Rollins is starting for sure, he's in play.
Shooting guard position, a lot of these guys have dual positional eligibility, but ones we haven't discussed got Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, AK tier.
Yeah, I mean, Ant's in a great spot, but they look lost offensively. He
keeps calling that team out, which I get, like he's trying to be the leader. Is going to like the podium after every game and being like, we suck defensively, we have no identity, now we suck offensively, we have no.
Yep.
Is that really the right approach?
Nope.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I don't think so. There was also a tweet that was sent out. I saw late in clutch moments situations last year. They played like a lot more Naz Reid. Like they actually played, it was like an 80-20 split, Naz Reid, Karl Anthony Towns. And this year it's like 97% Julius Randle late in clutch and basically not playing Naz Reid at all. And
dude, Naz Reid is not playing. Naz Reid has not played like at all.
He's not playing well. I wonder if he just can't get into a groove because they're like, we traded for Randall, like we're playing Randall, like that's just what we're doing. But obviously he's, Edwards, you've called it, like he's been great. He's been fine scoring the basketball in terms of like he's averaging 25, 5 and 4. Like the box score looks great.
Yep.
But nothing else really. It's not working, right? It's not really working. It's not really working for us in DFS either at his price point yet. So Out there, you mentioned Donovan Mitchell can always blow up and blow out teams. It is Utah. Maybe he still has a vendetta there in that spot here. Jaylen Brown, all Celtics are always live to go off if you want to go there. Levine versus Milwaukee. He's averaging 40 fantasy points in the 2 games against them this season.
Yeah, I'm back to my Chicago's hard to figure out. Just you could play them. They're all good in play. They're all good tournament plays.
Sure. Norm, 7K. Norm continues to be an absolute baller. Price tag continues to go up with the production, but back-to-back games against Dallas, 52 and 42, 29, 29, 28. 3 straight games for Norm Powell. Is he the most improved player?
Has to be, dude. There is how many really? Norm Powell's in his 10th year in the NBA. How many 10th year players have made this leap?
I think his first time ever being a consistent starter. I think he started for a little bit with Portland right after they made that trade with him in Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, he's been around a 20-point scorer before.
Yes.
Dude, he is at 24. He's the NBA leader in 3-point percentage too. Dude.
Is he?
He's shooting 47% from 3, dude.
That's insane.
He has to be
out there, right?
No, dude. I mean, as much of a Jalen Johnson fan as I am, and he should have won it last year, Jalen Johnson. Dude, Norm is borderline 50-50, 85. I mean, we're talking about a guy shooting 49% from the floor, 47% from 3, and 85% on 24 points per game. And 7K, dude, you were talking about the scoring and the fantasy points. How about the last 2 games in minutes? 38 and 42 minutes for Norm Powell the last 2 games too. If that's
he's not even on the board.
He's not even on the board. That's an abomination.
Tyler Hero is your betting odds favorite.
That's kind of a joke. No, I mean Norm Powell averaged 14 points a game last year.
I know. Not even on the. How is Wemby plus 75? He can't be most improved player.
I know.
I don't care how many 10 block games he gets. He can't.
I know that doesn't. I know that.
Can't be most improved player. Jalen Williams and Tyler Hero, your top 2 odds. Jalen Johnson is 3rd. Dyson Daniels is 4th. Cade can't be most improved. He's the star. You don't win. Cade doesn't win most improved player.
Dude, you were talking about a guy who has been in the league for a decade and is having a year that 95% of the NBA population will never have.
Right.
24.
Why is Tyler Hero getting it? We've seen Tyler Hero be this good before, right?
Probably not this good. I mean, Tyler Hero
he's averaged over 20 in 3 straight years going into the season.
This is definitely his best year.
Yes, he's averaging 24 points per game. He averaged 20.7, 20.1, 20.8 the last 3, but still 39% threes, 44% from the floor. He's been this guy for 4 years. He's just averaging 4 more points per game. Norm Powell is averaging 8 more points per game than his career average. What are we doing?
I think I wonder if books are factoring in Kawhi's imminent return and his numbers won't sustain when Kawhi comes back. Because Kawhi traveled with the team and is not available on the road trip, but doing the injury report on the waiver wire column for fantasyalarm.com, they don't play again until Thursday, John. If I had to guess, I think we might see Kawhi Leonard back on Thursday of this week. Okay. They're back home. Do you think the books would factor that in where we know there's going to be a dip, but why?
He averages 12.7 points per game for his career. He's averaging 24 this season.
Dude.
He's only once averaged over 20, and that was he played 5 total games in 2021. Sorry, I lied. That was he got traded with the Clippers, and that he averaged 21.4 points per game in the 5 games that he played with the Clippers in 2021. He averaged 18.7 as a full-time starter with the Trailblazers prior to that trade. But since then, he's been a bench guy, and Yeah, he's doubled up his career average in points. But maybe you're right. Maybe they don't consider him because maybe Kawhi's coming back, but the guy's not on the board. You put him on the board at least.
It's a nightmare. No, that's a joke. That's a legitimate. That's a joke. It's a joke.
Bilal Coulibaly plus 10,000.
He's also been super great, and when they trade Kuzma eventually, that's gonna boost his odds for sure.
Get those bets in now. Anyways, Norm Powell
Too cheap, 7K.
Wildly underrated.
Yep.
Let's see. What are we doing in the rest of this mid tier? You got all the
Jalen Green. I like Jalen Green if there's no Tyree Eason. He had another really good game on Sunday. He's put a couple good games together. When I was doing the playbook on Sunday, his minutes have been really consistent with Tyree Eason off the floor. That was like the fourth game Eason's missed this year, and Jalen Green's been great in all of
them. Yeah. Kelly Oubre had a really good game against Charlotte. Everybody has a bad game against Cleveland. Does he bounce back against San Antonio?
He might. I mean, Embiid scored 70 in the spot last year. They're already talking about it against Wemby. So
sure.
We'll see.
Let's see what else we got. Working our way down here. Amen, Sharp, Clay against Portland, 5,600.
Dude, Klay Thompson looking. Dare we say back or?
I mean, he only played 24 to that blowout, but he had 4 fouls as well. But still,
just the scoring. Like I'm just saying, like Clay looks good offensively. Like he looks good. Yeah, I'd be okay with it, especially if there's no Luka.
Vassell,
yes,
started 23 minutes.
Started the game before 38 minutes.
38 in a competitive matchup. So I think competitiveness, we got Vassell.
Yes.
Let's see.
I would love to if it's so sad that Keontae George
back
is he's questionable.
Sure.
But it's sad that he could miss another game and it's Cleveland for Utah. Because I would go right back to Sexton and Clarkson. They were both super good. You could play them in large field stuff.
Your decision to play Sexton over Bogey the other day.
Yes.
Was a core reasoning, that and the 50% Kevin Durant taking you through the money there the other day. But I was part of the 27% that got fooled by Bogdan.
He also was hurt. Did you see that? He's on the injury report.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day for those who fell for that shock. Let's see. You got Tamani Kamara. That was a bad game, but he had been pretty good. 2,900. I feel like we don't get to talk a lot of Portland because they're not on our slates that often.
No, they are not.
Grimes was really good the other day.
Yeah, he obviously has to be really efficient with his time, but he's been good.
Does KCP shoot by default?
He took 12 free throws the other day, John. I mean, had he taken 12 the whole year, I guess is the question. Had he what was his free throw attempts going into that
40 game? He took a quarter of his free throw attempts.
That's to answer your question, kind of has to. I don't know if that means anything, but yeah, we saw KCP back in his Detroit days. It's in his bag. It's somewhere down there.
Sure. Any other values for you?
If there's no Giannis, no Lillard, Gary Trent was chucking. Some vintage Chuck from Gary Trent.
Definitely a vintage Chuck game versus Chicago.
Dude, vintage Chuck times 2. They'll be the most popular team on the board. If there's no Giannis, no Lillard. Dame is doubtful. So we'll rule Dame out.
Yeah, Rollins, Trent, 2-man with Bobby Poe.
Rollins, Trent,
Chicago.
With Bobby Portis. As long as Bobby Portis doesn't get ejected, he'll go for 80 again, apparently. Yeah. And Middleton. those 4 guys will be the highest rostered players
on an 11-game slate, too.
Mega chalk.
Yeah.
Mega chalk.
All right, anybody else?
Not at this moment.
Only got 15 odds there. All right, small forward then. Jason Tatum had a stat line that no one has ever had before.
Oh, little what do they call it? Basketball. there's a thing they call it, like when people have stat lines and when scores happen for the first time, they call it something, whatever.
Well, anyways, apparently he is the only one that has ever had like 40 points, 10 assists, 15 rebounds, while like
making 8 threes or 9 threes.
Or something. Yeah, something like that. So like he's the only person to ever have his stat line in that game against Chicago. He's good.
Yes, correct. He is.
The rebounding numbers are insane. They asked Porzingis after, like, what's it like playing with Tatum? And he jokingly said, it's like, well, he's taking my rebounds away, but like
he's taking my rebounds away.
I'm sure like Porzingis has like a contract bonus for like a doubles or something like that, and like Tatum just robbing all of his boards. But Tatum, as we said from the very beginning, is chasing after an MVP. He's not going to win it. Jokic is going to win it, but Tatum is
I think that narrative changed a little bit with Jokic.
You think it's starting to flip a little bit?
Yep.
So
I think there's another team in the East, if depending on where they finish, that also wears green.
Okay.
And obviously SGA exists. So like they're going to say best team in the West if they finish first, right? Best player on best team.
Yeah. Sure.
So
we'll see. But JT, we said from the very beginning, was chasing the MVP, and the fact that he is literally going to go average a double-double this year, it's going to put himself in that conversation with games like that. And he gets Orlando, who
just beat up.
They're
just beat up.
They have nobody left.
They're just beat up.
They don't even have Gary Harris to put on the floor in this game.
Dude, they're just poor. Dude, Jamal Mosley, coach of the year. If they is he the coach of the year?
Me? What?
They're the 4th seed, 18-12.
I know, but and when does Banchero and Wagner come back?
Paolo had a setback.
I know, it's crazy. All right, so you got that group. Paul George has had some rough couple of games here.
It's not getting any better with Embiid.
Yeah,
the shooting will get better, but not really the stats. I don't.
Almost if he's like overrated a little bit. I don't know. You said it.
Okay. Yeah, take your 2. You can have your 2-game sample. I'll give you that
one. Dude, Cam Johnson's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot better than 2 of 9 from 3. Super disappointing. I took the over 3.5 threes for him in that Utah game.
Did you see what they did?
No.
Every time he touched it, they trapped him.
Yeah,
every time.
The only offensive player they have.
Every time he touched it, they sent 2 at him.
Literally the only offensive player on that team right now. So
yeah.
It's a thing. He's there.
Yeah.
He'll score.
Yep.
Let's see. You always have your Knicks that are in play. Laurie 67, maybe a little revenge game.
Yeah. In his 24 minutes of work, hopefully he scores a bunch.
Okay. All right. Koulibaly questionable. We're not going to play that anyways. Middleton 6K, as you mentioned, we're in on.
What do you think his minutes are here? Because they obviously I know it was only 11 in that Washington game, but they took everyone off the floor at the end of the game, and I mean he looks like he's poised for.
He played 24 minutes.
He did not play the final 420 of that game.
They're 26-28 feels reasonable.
Yeah. If there's no Giannis.
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna run that whole show. So remember those days Giannis to get ruled out and we'd run and just shove in Middleton and Drew Holiday into our lineup instantly. We're it's a 40% usage rate for Chris Middleton without Giannis on the floor.
He was 7-5. We were we're gonna obviously play a 7,500
every second of every minute of play for Chris Middleton. Yeah, those things existed there. Denny 53. What's his life been like lately? 2 of 12.
What's his life? Well, he's living in Portland. They lose a lot, John. So
hopefully he has a mattress. That's all I can.
Well, he can have Ayton's when they trade him.
Dude, Brooks has been unreal lately.
Dude, he scored 40 fantasy points again on Sunday.
I know.
I would say something to monitor if there's no Tari Eason. He scored 40 in back-to-back games without Tari Eason. So if there's no Eason again, yeah.
Strus is 49. Anything else down here for you?
That was hilarious. Strus is 49. Shout out to Alex Caruso, who just got paid Only just wanted to shout him out because he got a lot of money.
He got a lot of money to like barely play basketball for
$80 million, mid-20s, teens to 20s minutes. I get only. I mean, like, good salute to him. I'm not gonna hate on the bag. Solid bag get there. I don't think there's anything else. Okay. I guess if Koulibaly were to sit Keyshawn George at $3,300, because he would play. Like if OKC or when OKC's up 30, sure. Keyshawn George at $3,300. If no Koulibaly, he's gonna play 30 minutes in like every scenario. They already ruled Kuzma out too. Yeah. So if there's no Koulibaly, I would play Keyshawn George.
Okay. Good shout. Hey, W have a game the other day? He did not.
He played in a game.
He was on the floor. All right, power forward.
What did our boy Power say? If James says he plays minutes,
he plays minutes. Yeah, uncheck him. Yeah, uncheck him. He plays minutes. Giannis is obviously would be just crazy good value here at 11K.
This is who I think has the a path back to the MVP right here.
Yeah, you think Giannis does?
Yeah, in-season tournament champion right there.
Sure. Only person ever have a triple-double in the in-season tournament championship game.
Yep.
Again, Jalen Johnson, Paul George, Jalen Williams. Tough matchups for Jalen Johnson. Not really great spot for George. Jalen Williams in a blowout.
Let me ask you the Jalen Johnson thing though. If there's no Trey,
yeah.
Not that Memphis is a really good defensive team. Mm-hmm. They just obviously it's a great pace environment that we got in that game.
No one's gonna play him again, but he's also 9K now. So like,
dude, he was 2 assists shy of a triple double. And if you remember, what you were the Jalen Johnson gonna triple double without Trey Whisperer earlier in the year. Like
the assist numbers have been great.
If they keep it close, because Minnesota can't score, he's gonna triple double. If he he's going to play,
what's the final score of this game? 98, 94?
Dude, but if he triple doubles, does it matter? He's going to have 60. He didn't play he plays 39 minutes a game.
If he if he got the 2 more assists against Memphis, but only the 2 more assists, he only got like 48 fantasy points there. So that's not enough.
Okay, but 48. I mean, that's still 6x, but like you're also factoring in that's 6 extra minutes. If he's not just getting 2 assists. Look what this man is doing in
I don't know. I don't like it. You can play him. You will play him. I don't like
if there's a try, I will absolutely play him. Yes.
All right. Tier down here. Let's see. Randall 73, as I mentioned, they're just like crapping all over him. Is
he gonna get traded?
But I did not like this move from the very beginning. I did not think he was.
Is he going to get traded?
Maybe. Did you see Brunson was looking for him after the game the other day?
He just left. Yeah, he just paced. Yeah, he paced.
Yeah, he's like 2 seconds away from like throwing an iPad like he did in New York, which is like because he's just a bad player, bad locker room guy. Hart, Collins, tough spots. Hart's always in playing tournaments. PJ, if there's no Luka, the minutes are great.
Yeah.
Rebounds have been good the last couple of games.
Doesn't look interested in shooting, but yeah. How can you shoot when you have Spencer Dinwiddie on the floor with this? That's what I was saying too.
Bobby Poe.
I mean, dude.
I don't know where the 8 assists came from, but
I mean, he was channeling Giannis, right? He was just being Giannis. He was a $5,300 Giannis.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody playing Cole Anthony, Bobby Portis, and Jason Tatum in one lineup, and Kevin Durant. Because I'm sure I didn't look, but I'm sure. Like, if Giannis doesn't play, he is 60% on an 11-game slate.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, Bobby Portis is a crazy usage rate player.
Great fantasy point per minute.
Great fantasy player. And then you'd be talking about a pace-up spot against Chicago. Like, everything would be just going in his favor there.
And then the doc doesn't start him.
Yeah, Jabari here.
Yep.
A lot of minutes.
Yep. Was really good. Was really good again on Sunday. Yep.
Been really good. Get the Charlotte matchup. Santi doesn't play a lot of minutes, but is very productive in those minutes. $5,300.
Dude, he's absurd. He's absurd.
Yeah.
Per minute, he's absurd.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like Sarr as a player, not this matchup for him. Not gonna play. Would you play in the Toronto guys, Agbaji and Mogbo here?
Mobo started. He got in early foul trouble, and then they just like didn't play him. So you probably can't. If anyone, I'd probably play Boucher.
Okay.
But he was really good in his 19 minutes.
Go back to Larry Nance.
You have to. You have to.
He only got there because he played the blowout run.
Blowout, yeah. I think like I'm not surprised to see that we're not going to get 31 minutes every time out of Larry Nance, but it doesn't matter. If he gets extended, he's productive, right? If he gets mid 20s minutes, he's productive, period. That is it. Just
he probably won't hit 5 threes again, right?
No.
But he's taken 7, 6, and 6.
It's just what he is. It's just what he is. He realized like I need to stretch the floor to play. Yep. And there's already no Okongwu. He's been great on the glass. What he is doing, block steals, that is him. He is also a very good passer, always has been.
And he's an energy rebounder.
And he's now a stretch
rebounder. He's always an effort rebounder.
So and now he's just stretching the floor like the best of them. So you know what? Yeah. Noah Okongwu, got to do it.
Clowney started next to Claxton. Been pretty good last couple of games here.
Yeah, I don't like the price, but I like the minutes and I do like the 3-point volume.
Good. The 3-point volume's in there. Rebounding. If you give you anything defensively, you'd be popping off there. Nance would obviously be the favorite play of that group. Anything else?
De Silva's fine. Pat Will ramping up a little bit. Boucher.
Patrick Williams was really good earlier this year, if you don't remember.
He was.
This stretch here was nutty.
He was also very good against Boston. They just got blown out, and you don't know if his minutes would have been higher if they don't get torched.
The 2 games against Boston, 5 of 13, 5 of 11 in 23 and 22 minutes.
Yeah. I would assume we get upper 20s minutes, and I'd assume if Giddey's back, he's staying in this. He didn't lose his job because he lost
is the starting power forward.
Yeah,
that's just
so. Yeah, I would go there. We saw Jaquez just is continuously getting iced even without Jimmy's. You can't.
He was super highly rostered in that game.
We'll project it. Not once he wasn't starting. It all went away. It all went away.
They started Drew Smith instead, right?
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Center. Wemby doubled with 10 blocks because he is an absolute menace. Yeah. He gets the Philadelphia matchup here, and as you mentioned, Embiid $9,600 coming off 60 of his own against Charlotte. I said it on the show. This is where you got disconnected on the preview show. It was a 3-game slate. I was like $9,500 Joel Embiid, far too cheap against Charlotte. He played 31 minutes. He absolutely dominated them. Now you have that fun matchup of Wemby versus Embiid. Sandwiched between them is Karl-Anthony Towns, who foul trouble, limited in minutes, still got a double-double, 31 fantasy points, super disappointing, but would be an elite spot again for him against Toronto here. I guess it's just whether or not how competitive,
yeah.
Same thing with Şengün, elite spot against Charlotte, but they probably blow Charlotte out. So hard to guess want to get.
I mean, we thought that would happen on Sunday, and then Toronto and their corpse skeleton crew. I would say any of those guys are elite. I would say the one thing that Towns usually has in his favor, outside of whatever happened in the Pelicans game, is that he just plays. He just plays so many minutes all the time.
Yeah.
So again, outside the Pelicans game, I know there was early foul trouble, so that obviously
he played 9 first half minutes of that game and still finished.
So
he played 18 in the second half.
Right. So I have no issues going to him against Toronto, even if this game isn't competitive really, because we're still gonna get a good amount of run from Towns. I have a hard time though if this version of Joel Embiid, and I said this remember, this is what my talking point before when he got hurt in that Indiana game it was Embiid and Jokic on the slate. And I was like, if Embiid's under 10K, I'm just going to play Embiid because he's not an under 10K player. If this is what we're going to get, if we're going to get the Joel Embiid that is going to take 20 shots, he's going to get to the foul line, and he's going to dominate, then I'm just going to play Embiid until they make his price 11 plus because that's where we're trending. I feel the same way. I know Wemby's obviously who he is. But let's see if he can hold up against a guy that scored 70 against him last year. I mean, he scored 70 points in a game. Wemby was, I believe, on the other side of that. Give me Joel Embiid under 10K 10 out of 10 times moving forward. We're not going to get it very much.
No, we're not. I agree with you. Get Vuk on the other side of that Milwaukee matchup at 83. Bam versus Brooklyn. He just, I don't know. I know what the ceiling can be, but he just hasn't given it to me enough.
No, he hasn't.
Zinger 75 again, went for 40.
He's just safe, dude. He's just safe. As long as he doesn't get hurt, he's safe.
As long as he doesn't get hurt. Zubac, Hartenstein in a blowout. I don't know. Is any of this mid-tier appeal to you at all?
All of it's tournament stuff. Zubac has been great. Zubac has been so good. Like, so good.
I mean, it's wild to see these numbers because also knowing that like Norm Powell's been going for 50 at the same time. You know, Harden's actually numbers have kind of dipped the last couple of games. So.
Harden had the 41 and 3/4 against Utah, and then but like, dude, I don't know. If this is what Zubac is going to put up nightly, then that would be my preferred play.
Yeah, he played 29 minutes just in that blowout loss to San Antonio, I guess. But he went for huge minutes and big numbers against Lakers and Denver the 2 games prior.
My only thing, and I know they're playing Klingon and Rob Williams together, but they're all healthy. So it just makes you Klingon's minutes have kind of gone away. So I don't know. Aiton's fine for sure.
Anything else for you?
I mean, I know Goga's in a tough spot, but like, God, he's been good, dude. 4 double-doubles in his last 5.
I'm not even really worried about it. It would be a blowout situation, right? Like that's what you'd.
Yeah, I mean, 27 minutes, 34 fantasy points. I guess you need more at the price, but if this game found its way to be competitive, Goga's obviously just gonna play max minutes on the floor.
I mean, Capella only played 19 in that game. Was the blowout? He played 22 against San Antonio.
Yeah, they're just trying to trade him. Get him to the trade deadline and get him gone.
Get Edie at 48.
Yeah, man. I mean, the minutes have obviously been great. So if we're gonna continuously get these types of minutes, then I am no issues. And I think what benefits Edie here is traditional center on the other side, right? They have Zubac.
Yeah. Anything else at center?
Claxton 57 is okay. Obviously, super down year. Brooke Lopez, if there's no Giannis.
Sure.
I know he was terrible the other day, but hard to like for anyone to be good when you see.
He had 1 rebound, no blocks, no steals, right?
Yeah,
but he was 6 of 14. 6 of 14 is good.
Yeah, the shots, the minutes were great. The points were fine, just no peripherals. So if there's no Giannis, I'd go there.
Season 19 minutes for Mark Williams the other day.
I mean, dude, he's so good per minute. So good. 21 fantasy points in 13 minutes, but I just not.
Nance is the value here,
and Edie. Those would be the two. Those would be the 2 values.
All right, so you want to play Embiid at 96? You said.
Yeah, but I'm also okay. I'm also okay with like playing Zach Edey if we wanted to spend up elsewhere.
No, that's fine. What are we gonna do? We wanted Middleton here. Small.
Well, Middleton is probably contingent on Giannis for me at $6,000.
You think so? You want no Lillard? I mean, the minutes are trending up.
I know.
I 6K is a good nut price for what a healthy Chris Middleton is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine pulling back on
You're
it.
right.
kind of waited out.
No, you're right on that.
Let's see. What do we want to do here? We don't know, obviously, the Dallas news. Otherwise, we'd play.
Vassell 54.
Yeah, Vassell's a good one. We'll go Vassell at small forward. A shooting guard, rather. 6,100. What was our... Did we have another spend we wanted to try to fit in here with JoJo?
I mean, there's a lot of
like potential value, right? So like that's where the slate can go crazy here.
Will go crazy.
Will definitely most likely go crazy.
Like LaMelo, Harden, Kyrie could obviously be great. Brunson could be great. Towns can be great.
Trying to see, there's not like another just straight plug, I guess. Did like Patrick Williams as a forward. 42. And you think guard.
What do you think Milwaukee does with their starting point guard?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we could go Trent, or we could go Rollins. I mean,
I mean, I guess we don't know.
They started Rollins, so and Dame's doubtful, like you said. So we'll, just for the sake of building a lineup and moving the show forward here, we'll go with that. We talked Norm. We like him at 7K. You got a guard at 8K and a util.
Guard at 8K and util.
So we can go cheaper and spend up somewhere else too. Still, like Ben Simmons at 59, and then a $9,900 utility.
So close to Towns.
It's LaMelo though. Do you like LaMelo at
I mean, I'm good with LaMelo.
Okay. Example lineup till we get all the news we need: Rollins, Vassell, Powell, Nance, Embiid, Simmons, Williams, and LaMelo. $100 left over. And we'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We got a playbook coming out for you all as well from yours truly. Make sure you tune in here at 5 for all the news and updates, and we'll catch you guys later.